Hi Flosstube, it's Diane. Today is March 14th, 2022, and it is my 30th wedding anniversary. So I thought I would do a video. Still not at the point of doing regular videos yet. The schedule's just nuts right now. But let's do a little bit of life update, and then I'll do more at the end. My Marine got into the college that he wants to go to, and he starts this fall, and he's very happy about that. He has like an academic portion and then a aviation portion, so he got into the academic, and he probably will get into the aviation before too long. My oldest daughter got a huge job promotion, and she was so happy. She calls me and she's like, just bouncing off the walls type of thing. And she did a good job. She deserves it. It snowed today. It wasn't supposed to snow, but it's my wedding anniversary and it always snows. When we got married, there were, I think, 7 inches of snow on the ground. So I'm not really surprised to wake up to unexpected snow. So I have a little bit of everything, so we'll just jump in. I'm going to start with quilting though, for just a moment, because that will lead into stitching. I have been working on this quilt. It's a block of the month through a quilt shop here in Minnesota, and it's by Deb Tucker of Studio 180 Design. And month 1 was making these points here, and they are here. So there's this guy, and same block but a different fabric. This guy. So these are batiks, and I love batiks. They're just yummy. They're absolutely amazing fabrics to sew with. I did get block 2 last Friday. I think it was Friday I went up there. And I've started assembling it. So that will make this little Lemoyne star here and these half Lemoynes. So essentially I will fully assemble this strip and this strip at the end of this month. So I'm only into month 2, but it's fun. And again, these fabrics, I believe the fabric line is actually designed by Deb Tucker. So yeah, they're just gorgeous, gorgeous fabrics. Let me throw that down there. And that is also given me time to have my machine out, so I've been making some project bags. And here's one. I mean, it's gnomes. I like gnomes. This has fusible fleece. I'm not sure. I'm not sold on fusible fleece for project bags. No. But I like the gnomes, and they're cute. So there's one bag. And then I have this guy, which is the opposite, with the red with X's and hearts, and there's little O's here, red on red, and the gnomes. I don't know what I put on the inside. What did I put on the inside? Oh, just a swirl. And then this guy with all the gnomes. This has a little thicker interfacing. I think that's what I like better. And then I had enough scraps left over from that one that I made just playing with the scraps. So I did half square triangles, and then this is a fussy cut. That's where you specify where you want to cut your fabric so it would fit. And again, project bag for me. It has the fusible fleece in here. Again, I'm not sold on the fusible fleece, but I had it, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try it. And then this one. I mean, this fabric is absolutely beautiful, beautiful fabric. I don't remember the fabric line, but then I added a row of flying geese units along the bottom because they're birds. Birds, birds, birds. What did I put on the inside of this one? This lining. So So there's that one. And then this one, although I have to fix it, this has the fusible fleece and I missed just a smidge on the seam, so I have to fix it. But I had made Lemoyne stars to get used to the ruler, and so I made them this big because I thought, oh, I wonder what it looked like in a project bag. And I like how it turned out. Even though I don't like the fusible fleece, I do like how it turned out. And what I did quilting wise is I just really just followed these lines here and just did all the diagonal lines. So sometimes they intersect, sometimes they don't, but that's what I did on that. And it's just the blue on the background, and this light blue is the lining. So I like this style, so much so that I am working on making it again with different fabrics, and I'm not sure where they went. I will come across them in my stack here. Oh, here they are. Of these fabrics. So it's all the same background, but there's this one and this one. And so all I have to do is fully assemble, and I'll have the blocks to make another project bag. Yeah, I had to do the math to get this the right size and this the right size and all the thing. Now the project bag tutorial that I tend to use the most is by Primitive Stitcher Suzette. She does a fabulous job in her tutorial, and I'll link it below. If I forget, just gently remind me. So I've been doing that, but I've also been stitching. So for, let's see, for February, one of my whip goes was an extra large project, which for me is 300 by 300 stitches or bigger. And that would be, I stitched on 3 things, and I showed that last time, but I did not show Persephone. Persephone, the February goal, well, this isn't Persephone. The February goal for Persephone, I know I pulled that project bag out. Oh, here she is. Was 1,000 stitches. And she is my oldest whip. And we're not fighting, which is always good. There's Persephone. I'm not doing the wallpaper. I don't like the wallpaper. Sometimes I like the background, but that one I don't. This is 32 count Lugana. It's called Vintage Antique Fields. I do not know who dyed this fabric. I got the fabric at Stitchville, and I started this in 2013. So I don't know who dyed the fabric, but it's a beautiful fabric. And so what I added was, do I have this upside down? No, I don't. What I added was all of this here. That was 1,000 stitches. And all these open spots you see in here, beads. Yeah, she has a lot of bling. And I understand, I believe it was D Stitcher, she did this piece, and she talked about how on 32 count the bugle beads that are called for don't quite fit well. But there's shorter bugle beads, so I'll get those. I don't remember which I have. I might have already bought the shorter ones, and this is just a bag I made myself. Gnomes again. I also know that I still have a beading video to do, tutorial to put up. I'm still working through how to do it and how to, yeah. So I'm still thinking on it, and the person who asked me to do it, I haven't forgotten. I honestly have not forgotten. It's just a lot of stuff's been going on. So for March, my whip go, 5 days on a Rosewood Manor. You know what? I didn't show my finish. Let me show my finish. I also have a finish. And it is this one. It's from the Gift of Stitching magazine. It's called Willie's Square number 7. I want to say it's June 2008. I'll definitely put it below. Now, where this fabric is, it's personalization, because I made this into a memorial piece, and so that's why that's covered. I did misspeak last time. I said that this was 40 count. It's 36 count fog, and I'm using 2 strands of the Dinky Dyes silk. This is Minganu, which I think is 146, and this black is Black Coral 130. I'm actually using 2 strands, and that's why I needed a second skein of the red. I had that on the black, just, well, to be honest, I stitched it and I thought, oh, wait a minute, that looks a little threadbare. So I went back over and I just added another top stitch. But these guys are stitched in 2. And the name information, that is also stitched in the black. But if you do this piece and you use 2 strands, you are going to need 2 skeins of the Minganu by Dinky Dyes, which I think is 146. I know this piece has Dinky Dyes number 130 and Dinky Dyes number 146. I don't remember which is Black Coral and which is the Minganu, and I'm probably totally butchering that word. I am not Australian, but I think it turned out beautiful, and they will like it. I've already ordered the frame from Signed and Remembered, who Beth Twist uses a lot of their frames in her finished pieces. And the frame is going to be a black frame. And I know what my deadline is to get this fully assembled and sent to them. But yeah, I like how it turned out. It is 36 count Cafe Misto by Fiberlicious. It's a beautiful, beautiful color fabric, and it works so well with this red. The person who is memorialized in this piece, his favorite colors were red and black. And that's why the red was called for, and I chose to do the small little motifs here in black, and then it's going to have a black frame. So I really like how this turned out. I was stitching on it, and she had posted on Facebook, because I know the mom. She said that somebody had said something about her not talking about her child. What? No. She can talk all she wants about her son. But the Sunshine Stitchers, their designer focus is Rosewood Manor for the month of March. And I wanted to show a previous finish. I have another one upstairs on my wall, so obviously you're not going to see that one. But this is Arise, Oh My Soul by Rosewood Manor. It's using the called for, I want to say it's weeks. I'm pretty sure it's weeks. It could be Gentle Arts, but I'm pretty sure it's weeks, whatever is called for. This is 36 count. It's a Lakeside. Or is it an R&R? No, it's a Lakeside Vintage River Willow. 36 count. And yeah, I have extra down here that I'm going to trim when I'm ready to frame it. But the colors are absolutely beautiful on this piece. I used 1 strand over 2 threads. Is it 36 or is it 40? It's 36 count, yeah. It's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I don't remember what was called for, but I couldn't find that particular green, so I wanted it green. I've seen this model. I saw it at Galleria 2019, and that's what sold me. It's definitely what sold me. And it says, darkness depart, and let the sun shed forth his light and power. Arise, my soul, thy course to run, and slumber now no more. So it's a beautiful, beautiful piece. So I need to get that framed at some point. Because, you know, I'm sure I'm the only one, wink wink, that has pieces that need to be framed. But I wanted to show that because my, aside from the designer focus, my WIPCO number for March is 5 days on a Rosewood Manor. And I already had that one done. I did that one, I think last year. Could have been 2020, but I'm pretty sure it was last year. So this is the one I pulled out. This is Baskets. Now, this uses the Valdani, and I am using the Valdani threads, but originally it's 28 count Wren by Picture This Plus, because these are 3 strands when they come off the spool. I had so many struggles with it. So many struggles. I did not want to give up on the project. I mean, I had this all stitched. I had most of this stitched. I had part of this over here stitched. And I said, because, I mean, look at all that I have left. So what I did is I ordered a 36 count Wren. I could have gone 40, but I think when I ordered this, I wasn't stitching on 40 yet. And I'm using 1 strand of the Valdani colors over 2 threads. And I like how it looks. It looks a little more fragile, a little more dainty than if I had used, well, even on 40 count, it would have different coverage. Sorry, I'm trying to remember where I put my board. That aside for a moment. So it is on 36 count Wren. It is using the Picture This, or it is by Picture This Plus. The fabric is using the Valdani threads. And in my 5 days, although to be honest, I stitched longer. I was on a roll. So, you know, when you're on a roll, you just go with it. I was able, there are 9 pages in this piece, and I was able to finish, I had page 1 through 4 done, and so I finished through page 6. And this is this page 7 kind of starts in this area, so I was working on page 7 here. So 7, 8, 9, and it'll be done. But yeah, the colors in here are absolutely yummy and beautiful. So sorry. Yeah, these are fun. I don't know what my favorite motif is in this yet. I haven't quite decided. I do like this one a lot. I also like this row too. So I'll figure out, and these birds are really, really beautiful. There are many colors in these birds that may not be coming across. So I know I saw the model of this at Galleria in 2019 also. But if you want to do a piece like this and you run into a snag with the threads or the fabric, don't be afraid of trying it again. I am so glad I did start this again. And I used that 28 count Wren, you know, it didn't go to waste. I used it for a couple of other pieces actually. And I still have some left over for like a little ornament or something. I will say Karen loves color changes. So I would recommend you having something like this, some kind of system like this. I have there's 12 colors in here, and I have all the needles threaded. It makes it so much faster. And because you're taking off the 3 strands, cutting it, I put the 2 strands that I'm not using on. There's a little tab right here. I'm trying to figure out how to there. There's these little tabs and the little slots. So I'll tab what I'm not using, pull it through the slot, and then stick the needle, the threaded needle, and there's a little foam in here you can point it into, and then I'll put that thread too. This makes it go so much faster to stitch. I love Karen's use of color. So if you're wondering about tips to do a Rosewood Manor with a lot of color changes, that's my tip to do. Okay. I wanted to show that piece because I'm going to be showing this piece in a minute. So that was my whip go. So my second whip go for March is 5 days on a Plum Street. And I didn't bring that in. Oh, I brought everything but the actual project in. That's okay. I've been working on Paradise Lost, and I've been doing a lot of unstitching because I messed up. So I don't think I've caught back up to where it was before yet, so we won't worry about that. We won't worry about that this time. I'll show it next time I do a video. But I also had a new start. And Valentine's Day was the 14th of February, of course, anniversary of my daughter being cancer-free. The day before was Super Bowl, and Stitchville has a Super Bowl sale where everything in the store is 20% off. Well, I should say most things, like threads, fabrics, most patterns. There are some things that aren't. But I had this piece, and my husband said, yeah, go to Stitchville. It was a Sunday. They're usually not open on Sundays. And kit it up, and there's your Valentine's gift. So this is in AVAS silks, and it's just beautiful. And I also found a piece of fabric. This is 40 count platinum, and I have the first row done here. I would have gone on to the second banding, but they did not have that particular silk, and so I had to order it from somewhere else. And now I have it, so I can continue to work on this. I will say, if you're interested in doing this, there are a lot of specialty stitches in here. And so just this itty bitty row up here is the one I have done. And then they have this big row. Well, there's a little kind of edge to that band, and that's the color I didn't have. And this particular band has a lot of backstitch, and I wanted to have that reference point to count from. But her directions are very clear from Sampler Cove. Her name is Diane. I want to say Jordan. It's Jourddan. It's right here. Jourddan. She has lived, she's American, but she's lived in Thailand and other places in East Asia, so you see those kind of influences in her pieces, and I just thought this was beautiful. It says, the loss of a father is much, the loss of a mother is more, the loss of Christ is such a loss as no other can restore, and I just love the colors. The colors for this are just delicious. These are most of them. These golds and greens and purples and blues. Oh, I just look forward to getting this out again. I was just on a roll with baskets, so I didn't start stitching on this when the other 4 came. So I need to get back to this one. I'm using 1 strand over 2 threads. If you like her patterns, I do like her patterns, but the idea of specialty stitches scares you, might I suggest this piece. This is also her pattern. It's called Dutch Beauty. It uses Gloriana silks, 3 colors. You don't have to use silk. You could use a deep red cotton, a deep blue, and a deep gold. This was in the Gift of Stitching magazine. It was the cover piece. I'll write that information below, but I do know that this pattern is available on 123 Stitch as a standalone pattern. So if you're interested in this pattern only has full crosses, back stitch, and what they call a whole bean stitch, or is it the running stitch? That looks a lot like a back stitch on the front. It has to do where you pull your needle up. But don't let that intimidate you, because if the running stitch isn't working for you, then just do a back stitch. It looks fine. Honestly, I think I did back stitch on here. I don't think I did that other stitch. I really do. But this would be an alternative, so you can kind of get a feel for her patterns. And it's a beautiful piece. I will say, if you do it in the Glorianas, this is on, is it 36 or 40 count? This is a 36 count antique white. I did 1 strand over 2 threads. I wasn't sure, the pattern didn't say how many skeins to get, so I got 2 skeins of each color. I only needed 1. So if you do 1 strand on 36 or 40 count, you only need 1 skein of each color. Even the red. I was close on the red, but I still had plenty left over. If you're doing 2 strands, you're going to want 2 skeins of each color. And that's whether you do, well, I don't remember how many yards are on a Gloriana skein. You'd have to think that through a little bit. But 1 strand, 1 skein of each color, 2 strands, 2 skeins of each color, and then you'll have plenty for this. But it's beautiful. So this piece, not all of her pieces have a huge amount of specialty stitches, but they're just gorgeous. This is, yeah, I had my pattern from the Gift of Stitching magazine, but I know it's available as an individual pattern on 123 Stitch should you want it. So if the greatest loss piques your interest, but the specialty stitches scare you, there's an option. And I've been looking at some of her other patterns too. Well, when I went to Stitchville on the 13th, I also picked up Scarlett House, the Smith sampler. This one's been on my wish list for a while. It calls for silks. It calls for Belsois, Dinky Dyes, and Gloriana. I love stitching with silks, but I still haven't decided if I'm going to do silks or cottons. And I also grabbed, because fabric was 20% off, I grabbed Woodland Brown, 40 count. That would work, possibly. Or we had this little thing called Market, and I got one of my orders. I purchased the Spring Forest Scrapbook. This is a collaboration between the Blue Flower and Lindy Stitches, and they show that you can put all 9 pieces together, and between the 2 patterns they use the same threads, so you don't have to buy a whole different set of threads between these 2 patterns. I have the Saltwater scrapbook. I don't know if they're going to do one maybe for each season. I don't know. But they're cute. I just loved all the coons, the raccoons here, the snail. I'm not sure what this guy is. He could be a hedgehog. It could be something, other kind of rodent. It could be a beaver, maybe. Then you have birds and, oh, these are the hedgehogs here. These guys. They're so cute. Grasshopper, deer, birds. So yeah. And you have 5 weeks, but everything else is DMC. And they do give you DMC substitutes. I think I'm probably going to go more toward the DMC, with the exception of the monkey grass, which is the grasshopper, because you can see that variegation, and you could see the variegation. Well, in this guy you could see the variegation, so I'm not sure what color that one is. And the snail. So if I can see the variegation, then I'll look at getting that particular color or sub from my own overdyed collection. Heart in Hand, seasonal etchings. I thought this was so cute. This calls for Classic Colorworks. Yes. And I probably have a number of these colors. But you could also do them as individual little pieces. She shows a little drum here. There's this chart is also included. This chart is not. It's cute though. It's called Robin Sampler. But this drum, that chart is included in this particular pamphlet. And I thought it was so cute. She does give DMC alternatives. Yeah. But I like the variegation I see. The only one that I really don't see the variegation is this dark brown. But I don't know which one that is. But the others, I do see the variegation in them, so I liked that. The person who I ordered, there was a Teresa Kogut freebie that she shared at Market, and that person who I ordered this particular order from included it. And then of course this one, which is extremely popular. And is a full picture of the sampler. I love the colors in this one. The blues and the browns and the greens. I really like how they play off each other. And kind of goldish browns. There's also this pattern in here. If you want to change the world, go home and love your family. and this pattern. You'll never know how much I love you. So, yep. I do have a couple more orders. I have one with Stitchville. I haven't had a chance to get down there. I will next Monday. I'll be down there late morning. And I ordered from Garon, so I'm pretty sure that's going to come like today or tomorrow. So I also received my silks of the month. I'm not sure which is which. I think this one's January. From Fiberlicious. Okay, I'm going to crinkle here. And I'm going to open both packages, so there's going to be a little more crinkle. I have been part of her Fabric of the Month for a while, which is where that piece of Cafe Misto came from. So then I stopped that to do her Cottons of the Month, and now I stopped that to do her Silks of the Month. And this is January's, which she calls Moonlit Sonata. So she does this little bit of art, and these are just beautiful silks. They're spun silk. They're just gorgeous. This guy is Blue Iris. This guy is Periwinkle. So a little more of a purpley feel. Lavender Blue, again a little more purpley feel. Moonlight Sonata. And Midnight's Garden. That was January, and whatever reason it sat in somebody's post office for like ever. I'm like, you know, do you have a tracking number? And we both checked the tracking number, and there was no movement, and then all of a sudden it came. And then this is Silver Moon for February. Not pretty. This one's Pearl. This one is Silver Cloud. This one is Fossil. So what I need to do is charcoal, DMC comparison, and gunmetal. So then maybe I can use these silks in that Smith sampler. These are 40 single strands, so there's 48 meters in each skein, which DMC is 6 strands, so it's 48 also. Well, 48 yards. So a meter is a wee bit longer than a yard, so you actually get a little more. And I have not received marches yet. I'm sure that'll come anytime. I did receive my Classic Colorworks from Trish, 3 All Threads. She's a great job if you're trying to build your stash. Then I received some Stitching Kindness from a dear friend. This is a beautiful card. That's a beautiful card. And she sent me Primrose Needleworks Stars and Stripes Forever. I've not seen this pattern before. With 28 count desert sand and the DMC to do this. And also you can do, I don't know, Gentle Arts or something. The DMC colors are just absolutely beautiful. There are 4 DMC colors, red, white, and blue, and then there's a brown. So I'm going to be starting this soon. I have to zigzag the edge, but I'll be starting it soon. And she also sent me this pattern from Lavender and Lace. It is called the Quilt Maker. I've seen this completed, and it's just stunning. And I have many of her patterns. As you can see right there, that's Angel of Autumn by Lavender and Lace. And then she asked me if I had this Mirabilia, and I'm like, no, I don't have that one. Le Nouveau Sampler. And she gifted me the beautiful fabric. This is 32 count milk chocolate. And so I kitted up the colors. So here are the beautiful colors. They're beautiful. So I have that to start too. Why not start all the things? It's fun. And yeah, so I'm waiting on my Garon Stitchery order. I'll be getting my order at Stitchville next week. I think I just got DMC for Maria Mockling because I'm going to start her. That's all the haul I have at the moment. But yeah, life update. Okay, I do have one more piece of haul. Because of the health stuff, they did some blood work, and I still have leukopenia, meaning low white blood cells, specifically the neutrophils. So you have white blood cells, red blood cells. I have low white, which makes it harder for my body to fight infection. And you have multiple kinds of white blood cells, and mine are neutrophils that are low for whatever reason. It often happens when people get chemotherapy, but I've never had chemotherapy, so why? We don't know. Well, then she said, well, let's do a CT scan just to make sure that, you know, there's no weird surprises. So in my abdomen, where I've been having pain off and on for several years now, and that's why I've been going down this path. And so I get a call, and she's like, well, yeah, you know, the abdomen looks good, but we found something in your heart. Okay, so we're recommending you go to a cardiovascular specialist. And so we had a really bad snowstorm, and it was a phone. So we did a phone consult because we could. I didn't need to be physically examined. I didn't have blood work or anything. So we get on the phone with the specialist, and he asked me, so how long you've had this aneurysm? What aneurysm? So the long story short is I have a thoracic aortic aneurysm. There are two main, now this, I'm not a medical person, but this is my understanding. Two main types of aneurysms, a brain aneurysm and aortic aneurysm. Two main types of aortic aneurysms, abdominal meaning in the abdomen, thoracic meaning in the heart. And I'm not quite sure where the demarcation line is between the two. Aortic aneurysms do run in my family, specifically abdominal ones, but this is in my heart. It's the thoracic one. And so I had a further scan, and the good news is the size is very small. It's 3.9 centimeters, which to us dumb Americans means it's 1.5 inches. But in the scale of this world that I've been learning about, that's small. They do surgery when you're closer to 4.5 to 5 centimeters. There's some research coming out that depending on the height of the patient is when you should consider surgery. And the good news is this is very small, but also it's not bulging at all. If there was any kind of weird bulging, then there would be more concern. I don't have the typical symptoms. I've never smoked, which can, I guess, increase your risk. And I do not have high blood pressure. I've never had high blood pressure. I tend to have low blood pressure. Not dangerously low, but toward that end of the scale. So what I chose to do is I have purchased from Rock Your Cause Jewelry in the past, and I've shown it. And so I chose to get myself a bracelet. And this says, let your faith be bigger than your fear. And then a burgundy ribbon, because burgundy is the color for aneurysms. Aortic aneurysms tend to have a little white in them, and I have a cross. And a burgundy jewel accent. I will link her shop below because she does a great job. Great job. Her name is Tracy. She's out of Texas. She does a great job. And I know a little bit of her backstory, so it makes me feel good to order from her and promote her business. So sometimes when you're kind of thrown for a loop, and I'll admit this threw me for a huge loop. But when you go through something like that, you're having something tangible in those moments where you're just kind of, you get in your own head. That's why I got the bracelet for myself. But also, I don't have high blood pressure. It's not bulging. And the diet I've been on, the low inflammatory diet, getting the regular exercise, that's all good for your heart. It's all good for your heart. So at this point in time, it's watch this and watch that, but I don't have any limitations on what I can do, which is fine. And from what I've read, the surgery is very, very involved. But I've also talked with a person that I know, and she's had one for 8 years, and she's like, on this anti-inflammatory path is the way to go. So I'm continuing with my diet, continuing with my exercise, and I will be following up with my regular general MD just to, do I have everything in my head correctly? Yeah, I'm in a much better place to talk about this now than I was when I first found out. That being said, September is September is Aneurysm Awareness Month, and aortic awareness, I think, is like the last half of the month, and brain aneurysms is the first half, I think, if I'm remembering right. So I am planning on doing something in September, and you all will be invited to join me in whatever that is. I am thinking a stitch along, so something with hearts in it, something, because February is Heart Awareness Month, Heart Health Awareness Month, and I already missed that, but we can do September. So something with hearts in it, something with burgundy in it. You think DMC 902 or DMC 814. I know that 814 is called garnet, but the deep red, almost pinky red. So hearts in the design, hearts in the name of the design, hearts in the name of the designer. Red in the piece, and it's Sampler September, so you can hit 2 birds with 1 stone, with 1 stitch. But I'm also looking at making project bags between now and then. Like these here, I'm probably going to use most of them, but keep 1 or 2 out, and then next batch keep 1 or 2 out, and just do that. And then closer to September, doing a bag sale fundraiser thing. I have not figured out all the details. So then essentially people could buy the bags, and all the funds would go to raise awareness for aortic aneurysm. There's an organization I'm thinking of specifically with regard to that. I also am toying with the idea of making a quilt, a throw size quilt that I would again raffle off, and all proceeds from that raffle would go to an organization to raise awareness for aortic health, your heart health. So that is what's going on. I have several appointments over the next couple weeks, including next Monday. Again, to eliminate other bad things, to get more of a handle on this. It's been, trying to stay out of my own head and not go down the Google black hole, because, oh my Lord, you don't want to do that. So I'm not going to commit to making regular videos yet. We're still going forward with our graduation, and his announcements should be here this week, so we can get those gathered. But did I bring his picture down? I did not bring his picture down, so I'm going to have to show his picture next time. Yeah, he's 17. He's probably 6'1". Yeah, it's good to see them succeed, but it's hard because they're your little babies, And then his older brother is graduating from college the week before with his bachelor's in psychology and his bachelor's in art, and he's 6'5". So yeah, there's just a lot going on, but it's good. And my husband had a major job change as to managerial structure for him. So the day-to-day is not going to change too much right now, but we are looking at moving in the next year, which brings up a whole other bunch of variables and things to consider. But I will do another video when I can do a video, and the easiest way to see how my progress is stitching wise is on Instagram. I try and publish there when I have actual progress to show. But what is my other? So I have one March number done, and my WIPCO is with every 5 blocks marked off, I'm going to give myself a reward. So when I go to Stitchville, I'm trying to figure out what to kit up. I have some options. So chances are there will be new starts. I know there are going to be new starts. I mean, I need to start that Lenovo sampler, and there's a Blackbird I want to start. There's another from the Gift of Stitching magazine I have all kitted up. Yeah. I thought of kitting up this big sampler, or this one, because this one I just need fabric for. Or this one I would need. I'll have to figure out if I have a piece of fabric. I think I might have a piece of fabric this would look really good on, but I would want the threads. So, and most of them are DMC. I probably have most of them. So I might kit that up, or the Smith sampler. Yeah. But that is what I have for you today. And my husband and I are going to go out to dinner tonight. We had thought of going away for a weekend or something. We're not going to, because it's March, it's cold. But later this summer, we're going to have a couple opportunities to get away, just the two of us. And it's hard to believe it's 30 years. Let's see, what time is it right now? 4:30 my time. So we were officially married at this time 30 years ago. Wow. It doesn't seem that long, but I can't imagine otherwise. It's one of those situations. But I am also going to link, I wanted to mention some new to me floss tubers. Welcome Stitchery. I'd like to go to their shop. They're over in southwestern Minnesota. Kimberly Young from Sassafras. Stitching Wish. 2 needles pulling threads. These ladies are in Maine. They're hilarious, and I love their pieces. Fanta Stitches. Phanta Stitches. Oh, loved her videos. I've watched 2 of them, or did I only watch 1? I have several in my watch later list. Cup of Stitches. She's in the Ukraine. She's in Ukraine. And Stitching on the Rock. She's a new one I just found the other day, and she's in Newfoundland. And she explained her name. I thought she said it was because Newfoundland is known as the Rock of Canada. I'm not sure if that's 100% true, but I'm going to link these guys. And if you're looking for somebody else to watch, check them out. They're all really, really good videos. And again, these are new to me over the last, well, since my last video. So I've just been writing them down as I find them. And I know I found a couple more, but I'm blanking on what they are right now. But I'll link these 7 below in case you are looking for others to watch. Stitching on the Rock, hers tend to be very short videos, but I like them. And Fanta Stitches, I like her a lot. She's pretty funny. I'm trying to remember. I want to say her name. Well, I'm not going to say her name because I will say it wrong. But yeah, I think she does a great job. So I will let y'all go, and I will talk to you when I talk to you. And yes, I still want to do that beading video. There's just some questions. I want to set it up so it answers questions. And if you have a specific beading question, you can put it below or email me at my email below, which is just mondotstitches@gmail.com. Is there a specific question that you have? And that will help me, because I'm going to show my way of beading. It's not the only way, but I'm going to show my way. And I still am noodling on the different pieces out there. But I will see you when I see you. Probably be in April. Oh, wow. This year's flying by. This month, I mean, it's the 14th already. It's just flying by. Tomorrow is Mira Day. I wonder what they're going to be releasing. I know it's going to be a... Is it a bigger one? No, I think it's 2 smaller ones. Because on the even months, I thought on the even months it was the larger pieces, and on the odd months it was the smaller pieces. But maybe it's the other way around. Anyway, I don't know if I'll get the pattern or not. Who knows? But yeah, I will quit babbling and the Minnesota long goodbye. Love to you all, and keep stitching and enjoying your stitching. I mean, these designers, and these patterns, because it's my anniversary. These are my anniversary patterns. My husband said, "Why did you just buy at Caron Stitchery?" I'm like, "It's the anniversary gift you're giving me. Just go with it. Just go with it, dear." He's like, "Oh, okay." But these designers, they used the time at home. Oh my word! I don't know where you all come up with your ideas, but oh, love them. Love, love, love them. Yeah. So many. Who was I watching? I was watching Needle on Flax, and she was talking about the collecting side of things when she shared her Scarlett letter. I have a long list for Scarlett letter pieces, probably about, yeah, a lot. But I will let you all go, and I will talk to you when I talk to you. Again, you can follow me, mondotstitches at Instagram, or email me, mondotstitches@gmail.com. And if you have a specific beading question, maybe needles or threads or fabrics or something, please put it below or contact me. Don't message me through YouTube because I don't get those messages. Don't know why. But email, I definitely check my email every day. And Instagram, I always get those. So if you have a specific question, help me out in that way. I'd appreciate it. But love to you all. Bye.